Hey, how you getting on? Today on Shiny Domes and Speaker Cones, I take a look at the tragically discontinued Celestion G12K100. Look at the size of that dust cap. Oh. Anyway, the Celestion G12K100 has been requested quite a lot. It's had a long life, and supposedly it had a life as the G12K85 before that, though I can't confirm that definitively. I read that online that the K85 later became the K100, but you know how it is with speaker myths on the internet. Anyway, despite being recently discontinued, or in the last few years discontinued, it's been requested a lot. This is my last K100. It came out of my orange cap originally, and I'm going to test it my usual way by comparing it to a Celestion Vintage 30, one from December 2024. It's nice and smooth in the 5 to 6 kilohertz area, which makes it sound quite similar to the golden era speakers from the early 2000s. The Vintage 30 is in this side of my Marshall cap, and the K100 is going to go in this side. Both of them will be mic'd up with Shure SM57s. The Vintage 30, where the dust cap meets the cone, that's its sweet spot to me, which is about here in this cab. And the K100 will be mic'd up in the same relative position at first. That's the reference position. And then later, because this speaker has a different sweet spot to my ears, I'm going to move the Shure SM57 slightly further outside of the center of the cone. I'm going to be playing a few riffs through the cab using the amps behind me, and I'm going to be switching back and forth between the SM57s in editing, so you have a nice comparison, both an apples to apples comparison and the best representation of the K100, at least to my ears. And to further help you assess if you want to buy one of these speakers on the used market, because Celestion doesn't make them anymore, I'm going to provide you with some free IRs for you to do your own testing at home, because I know play styles differ and my style might not be very representative of what you like to play. You can do your own test at home. And to add insult to injury, after the playthrough, I'm going to play you some room sounds. I reamped a riff of mine through my EVH 5153 into 1x12s. Those were Hesu Wizard 1x12s, and one had the Vintage 30 and one had the K100. I'm miking up the room with an Austrian Audio OC818 so that you get an impression of how the speaker sounds in the room as well. I think that covers it. I need to pop the K100 in the cab. Yeah, play a few riffs. To quote Charles Leclerc, I am stupid. The sweet spot for the K100 is the exact same as it is for the Vintage 30. Should have checked my notes beforehand. I've got hiccups, so annoying. I do the IR sweeps and the sweet spot finding with the IRs in batches, and I did this months ago. And I got confused. I mixed something up, so I could reshoot the intro. At the same time, I've never gotten through that so efficiently, so I'd rather give you an extra IR for free. So I hate hiccups, they're so annoying. So I'm just going to leave the microphone in the reference position on the K100 for the most part of this video. But towards the end, I'm going to move it slightly further outside for one or two riffs, just so we have a slightly different flavor. And I'm going to call it the alternative position, or alt position, and you're going to get 2 IRs for the K100. Anyway, the amps I'm going to be using today are the PV5150 over there, the Engel Savage 120 Mark II, and the Diesel VH4 behind me. And I've got this Tube Workshop Lulis here for a video. Gotta make hay when the sun shines, so I'm going to use it today, get to know it. This thing freaking rips. And one last thing before we get going, I want to give a shout out to Sam Purified, who sent me these stickers to put on cabinets to mark mic positions. I haven't put these on yet, but I'm sure these are going to come in very handy. Thank you very much, Sam, for sending me these. You're a legend. go. Whoa, this is a heavy guitar. I've screwed up a lot of times there, but this guitar is pure violence. Ah, so cool. Screwed up there at the end, but I don't care. Okay, as promised, I need to move the microphone slightly further outside of the center of the cone on the K100 and not fall over the cables here, but I've tied on my pedals. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day. What did you think of the Celestion G12K100? Is it tragic that it's discontinued, or are you not going to miss it? I'm kind of divided. I'm kind of conflicted. I like it quite a bit. I like blending it a lot with other speakers. By itself, it really depends on the day. Some days I really, really love it. Other days I don't so much. You can really see in the frequency response graphs that it's really pulled back in the presence frequencies, but it pops right up in the brilliance frequencies as well. So I think it's a good fit for certain amps. I think Diesels like K100s a lot, and that was a stock option while they were available on the Diesel cabs. I also think that the K100s were a good fit for the Orange PPC 412 HP8, where I got it from, because that wicker grill on Orange cabs kind of takes off a lot of the highs, so it's cool in that. But I'm curious to know your opinion. Tell me down below in the comments. Try out the FreeeEEs if you have the means. Let me know how you like them. If you like those, consider becoming a Patreon. That's where I have IR packs for all the speakers I've demoed so far. And if you want to support the channel, there's affiliate links down below, because you can't get this speaker new. Might want to buy yourself something else. Buy used if you can, but if you can't avoid buying new, it helps when you use my affiliate links. That goes an awful long way. So yeah, I think I'm run out of words to say. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.